those some people might know, but the majority probably don't know. We met at a club. Matter of fact, she met at a club, and she used me. She used me.
Are
I'm gonna tell
you?
you, you because she ran over to me, and she said, "It's this guy, he keep on following me, trying to ask me which car." So I'm like, "Yeah." We got into a conversation, as she was using me. We got into a conversation, but it turned out, I guess she got more than what she asked for, because I said, exchange phone numbers, and, we sent her over the phone. So we exchanged phone numbers, and then I called like a month later, but when I called, she didn't know who I was. She like, who this? And I'm like another half hour on the phone, trying to explain to her who I was. Then she finally, this and that, we talk, connect. This is when, I guess when you got excited or the drama began.
On the drama. I think when you called me at first, I didn't know who you was, because I think when I met, I said, aren't you in a relationship? I think I asked you that. It was like, I'm in transition. I said, lose my number.
I was in transition.
You can lose my number. I'm not messing with anybody else's property. No, you can lose.
Yeah, I was in transition. But look, hold on. Just like, I was misled. Some things she left out. I'm going to tell you how she misled me. I went over her house to visit, right? Now, when I talked to her in the background, I heard she had a little voice. I'm thinking she had like one son or something like that. Like, come over there, shit, looking at TV. So one little boy came downstairs. Then another little boy came downstairs. Then little girl came downstairs. I was saying to her, so what you babysitting? You know what I mean? It's weird. Look at her face like, no, they my kids. I'm like, what? So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. She like, yeah, that's my kids. I'm like, oh man, so so as time went on, I was, getting more info and everything like that. So, there's always a stigma. When, a person had that many kids, I thought it was at least about, 3 baby daddies involved or something like that. So I'm like, I wasn't really with that. So, you know what I mean? But she was talking to me. She was like, married. Like, how dare you? I was married. You know what I mean? I said, oh, okay. So that changed the dynamics a little bit.
It was so funny, the look on your face, and you asked me, was I babysitting? That was the last.
I was like, man, all those. That was a lot of Rugrats. That's a lot of Rugrats. I'm like, Rugrats. I'm like, yeah, it turned into, we went on with this relationship for 12 years. It didn't seem like 10 years.
It did not, but it was 10 years.
For 10 years. And during, I say maybe like the 8th or 9th year, you all had a history. You all had a history. All of a sudden, you had this thing, you like, I'm going back to church. Church, like, me, I'm not a spiritual man. Now at that time, I'm not a spiritual man. I'm like, back to church. So, so I said, she not going back to church. There's another cat involved. With another guy involved. I started investigating, turned into a private investigator. I'm block away from the from the church. I'm seeing with guys. She went back to baby daddy. That's what that is. Oh man, you already know. I'm like, she went back to baby daddy. But I didn't see it coming out. So after what she found out, I guess I got busted. Cause you like, but you didn't even have to do that. You could have came to the church. I said, I was at church. She said, no, come in the church. I came in church. I said, whatever was the last pew, I was there, right in the corner. I'm like, I ain't going up. So, but I came one time, I got more than that because I got touched. But, and then I thought, and I said, you know what? She was seeing Jesus. That's who she was. And I saw she was sincere about that. But I wanted I had called that when I called Gina, and I said, Gina, okay, let's get married. And Gina's like, you know what, Ted, I'm too old for this, my old girl can hear me.
Oh,
I said,
goodness.
my old lady or my girlfriend or something like that. I was ready for that, though, so that's why I was pumping the brakes, so I didn't really do that. And then when I did, she told me no, so I'm like, I'm kind of confused. Why you telling me no? If you were Trina, she said, nah. But what it was, Gina, like, I'm not marrying nobody that's not saved. So she wasn't ready because she said I wasn't ready because I wasn't saved. Gina said, I ain't marrying nobody not saved because I'm not going to be in church on Sunday and you home watching the Eagles on. That's what I want to do. Like, be your church thing. I'm saying, home watch my bird.
I just wanted you to experience what I was experiencing, and what made me want to return back. It was roots there, so it had to be good enough for me to return back to that. And I wanted you to experience that, and I knew that you had never experienced that. So by me saying yes, I don't think you would have experienced it.
I probably would not, to be honest.
And I didn't want that. I wanted everyone to enjoy, not just my guy, but I wanted him to be, I just wanted you to come and experience what it was that was so good and worth returning back to. And I think that was one of my missions with you, that I had no idea that was a mission for you, but I said, nah, not ready to get married. And I know anybody in my position, and they're like, wait a minute, you have like 6 children and you're telling a good guy, no? Yeah, no. Yeah.
One thing about Jane, she was very independent. She's very independent. She had an entrepreneur spirit, always on the hustle, always trying to figure out ways to, she literally made $1 out of 15 cents. She could do that. She was real good at doing that. And then I met her entire family, met her father and her mother and her father. I said, you know what? She got that from her dad. I knew that right there because he was the same way. And that spirit was all over her. And that's one of the things that attracted me to her. It was the icing on the cake. It was outside of parents, of course. But when it comes, but that part right there, I said, you know what, man? I said, we can excel a lot as a couple because, I'm not an entrepreneur. I hustle my own way, but I'm a 9 to 5er. And sometimes a 9 to 6 or 7 to 8. So that was my hustle. But Regina was the other way that she knew, entrepreneur spirit. And I was impressed with that. And she never really had a hand out. She was always showing me that I could do, of course she wanted a man, but I could survive without a man. But she never said that I don't want a man. She always said I could survive without a man. But so I was like kind of impressed with that. So that's what made me, I'm like, I need to read that. That need to be my queen. That's when I knew right there. That I'm under. I said, that's going to be Miss Bradshaw. I knew I got to make her Miss Bradshaw.
Wow. I can remember leading up to the wedding day and sitting down and talking to the children, because every decision that we made, it was really based around the children, because we were actually blending 2 families. So everything was based around the children's decision. When I actually finally introduced Ted to the children, and letting him know, okay, me and Mr. Ted are getting married, and they were elated. Telling them and sitting down, and everyone even Essence, everyone was really, really happy. And leading up to the wedding, wow. One thing I told Ted, I said, I really want to incorporate the children throughout the wedding and in the wedding ceremony, because that's what it was about. It was about blending 2 families, and I said that's what I wanted to be about. That's really how it went. Each and every one of the children were in the wedding. From Sam and Joshua sung us down the aisle. Melody, Essence, Rochelle, my bestie Shirley. Even remember the wedding fittings, all of the places that we went. And then on the day, another one of my good girlfriends, Dawn, I remember on the day of the wedding, that was just a whole experience also. With the group and the girl, that was just a whole, and when I tell you, because I think Donna was broke her toe because we was running from the dog on our way to get our nails done. Oh my God, our family. And I can remember, because going back some, I can remember meeting your mother and when you let your mother know, because a lot of people don't know Ted was a mommy's boy. Ted was a true mommy's boy. And he was, I can remember hearing on the back end his mother, Miss Minnie, my mother-in-law say, she just wants you for your money. You don't let that girl take all your money. I can remember her saying that because his mother was the finance person in the church, the trustee, and good with numbers. She knew about savings. She knew about that on properties and all, really good. And she just telling Ted he was crazy.
My mom, he need to go see some help. Because ain't no way in the world, because you ain't talk to God. Because if God ain't tell you make no decision like that, that ain't, Lord, it had nothing to do with that. I was like, Mom, I'm like, I said, you know what, I don't even want to talk like this. You know, that really strained me and my mother relationship. He did it.
I can remember Miss Minnie standing there holding Jesse's arm. Jesse was so tall, and her mouth was poked out. She even claimed that she threatened that she was not going to come to the wedding. And she did come and gave us a very nice gift. But just remembering all of that and coming up to now, how totally different, and how God has really, really blessed the family, blended them together as a family, sisters and brothers, and it was just really something that whole journey, 10 years.
I always knew you would come for me, and now that you're here, my whole world's complete. You gave me so much more than I'd hoped for. All of my dreams I realized, girl, you made me whole. Just when I needed a friend, someone who would stay till the end. You came along and you made me strong. There are no words to explain all the joy you bring, 'cause in you I found perfect love, that one of a kind, most people, yeah. I never thought it could be, yeah, but in you I found everything I'll ever need.
Early on,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. We had a lot of fights. No, we didn't have nothing, but we had some loud arguments. But if we didn't do it like I know you need the right way. You know, one thing I learned was, this is what I learned with Regina. When Gina is mad, leave her be. I know what you're gonna like. She going her partner all out, and I going my partner house, and that things, smooth over, calm down before we approach each other again or whatever. So I learned that. I didn't know that at first. And I think we're gonna talk about this. Not that ain't gonna work. That makes sense. Not work. But I can't remember the first argument. My time was over finances. It was because
I wanted to go to Nashville right after we got married. that year.
Oh, that's yeah, we got married. Gina turned green as this shirt right here, like because I said, nah, baby, we just had a wedding, we can't do that. We can't do that. She got mad and he was what you call him and this and then arguing and all the stuff like that. And I said, nah, baby, that wouldn't be a good decision to do that. You know what I mean? I put us in a hole. You know, and then you gotta look, our spending behavior was different because now we married. You know what I mean? So I said, it's a different way we gotta handle this right here. Look, that little residue when it comes. Residue. So I feel a little residue. I'm gonna keep it. No, residue, but you know I'm good. You know I'm good.
Oh my goodness.
You know that, but nothing like it, but it's a little residue. You don't got residue. I had residue too.
That was something different. That was something.
She wanted to get a divorce then. He's only like 2 months in. Already all want a divorce. Or everything shuts down when it was because we had to get used to that though.
I can remember Bobby Willard, and he was downstairs and he was making a joke and everyone was talking about Nazareth and he was like, everything shut down. You don't pay bills, this and other. Well, coming from someone who was on target, always on time, this, that, and the other, he's like, he pulled him to the side. I said, what is he talking about? What do you mean? Y'all don't pay? I said, don't worry about that. Don't pay him at the No, we're not living like that. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? So it's really different from someone from the outside of the organization coming in and, dating someone in the organization. That's really different. That's why you really, really have to be careful with that. And one of the reasons I didn't even know that this is how I was actually moving, but I knew, like he said, I was going through transition when I met him, but when I returned back to the house of God and he asked me, for my hand in marriage, I was like, can't do that. And that's why I recommend doing it the right way. So both of you all can enjoy that. It means so much when you do it the right way that you all can enjoy. And a lot of, things I grew up in the church and I'm accustomed to that he was not. And he has questions, which he has every right to add.
That was a little struggle. Some things, because I wasn't used to this church tradition or doctrine, stuff like that. I had to get used to. You know what I mean? So
there weren't any lies, but there was a lot of things that we didn't say up front. Like the one thing.
I mean, you know, I didn't.
Yeah. The one thing that was funny was I knew how one of your holdups coming into the church was about women preachers. And you had no idea that I was a preacher. And I can remember band number 3, the Church of Philadelphia, Sister Dinah came knocking on the door. A reverend, what? I was like, and you said, this lady over here asking for a reverend.
I think that's another thing. I'm gonna tell you how naive I was. I'm thinking, like, is that a nickname? Or don't she it's really a reverend? I'm like, hold up. I'm like, she's like, yeah, I was a reverend. I'm like, finding out a lot of things. That's why I don't mean to sound like a hypocrite. I don't recommend this for everybody because, when other people try to do it, I said, man, I know ours was special. I know because God was in it. It was nobody else that God was in it. Because I hear other people involved that try to do it. But if you didn't consult God when you're trying to do this, it's not going to come out this way. It's not going to come out. And I thank God every day that I really wasn't too much of a struggle. The transition wasn't hard or anything like that. Sure, we have our regular problems like, other couples do with certain things, but not like you expect it. And this and that person not going to like you, or the kids not going, it was always love with the kids, you know what I mean? It always, that's what Drew was together when you had broke up with me, you know what I mean? Because I had that attachment with the kids and everything. It's like that to this day, the attachment that, especially, grandkids, that's another level. Mel, how she is, she's a daddy's girl, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, it's not, it's nothing but God. It was nothing but God. That's all I can say. It was nobody else but God. I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why I think it because of that's what took me so long, so to make sure. Some people just dive into a situation like that head first. Like I said, I dipped my feet. I mean, before I dove all into that. That's what took so long. That's maybe I ain't need for the feet at.
Well, that shit. I mean, looking back, it didn't, but it was. I can remember trying to blend the families also when Essence loved McDonald's and she loved, I think it was the quarter pounder meal. And on Sundays I cooked. I had a large family, so I cooked. So I can remember you said, babe, I'll be right back. I need to take Essence to McDonald's. I said, oh, okay. She going to McDonald's? I said, okay, so everybody get their coats. And you said, what's going on? I said, well, if it's not one Big Mac meal or quarter pounder meal, it has to be 7 now. So are we all eating at McDonald's or just one? So I think that was one of our transitions, things that we had to work out also. That
Pockets had to build up to that stand. From one it tripled, it quadrupled. Like, wow. That's what I say. I'm like, but around. Yeah, but it like I said, it turned out to go. God is good.
The late Bishop Snellings was our marriage counselor. And she crossed those T's and dot those I's, and she was not playing, but she was our marriage counselor. And I remember when they had the big, they had to go to Nashville. It was a special meeting, they had to go to Nashville. When our last chief overseer was in transition, not Bishop Fletcher, but the one prior to Bishop Fletcher, Elliott. And she had to be called away to Nashville, but she said, I'm going to get you a good replacement And none other than that Bishop, Bernard Davis, he did an outstanding job. And
With a day other way?
That is one thing. We were late. Of course, come on. We were late.
It's Gina. I told you I keep it real.
But I can remember coming in, which was a blessing because Reverend Bernard Davis was able to speak to Ted on a level that a lot of people was not able to with a blended family, letting him know what to expect. These were things that he had went through. I'm just giving you a word of advice. I mean, it really was really, that was a wonderful day for me when you let me know that, because who else could have given you that advice? And those boys are not going to stay young. They're going to grow up. How are they going to feel? How are you going to interact with them? This, that, and the other. But I just thank God for everything that he has done so far in our lives. I don't take any credit. You don't take any credit because you know who it actually was. But it's just something for young people, because young people go a lot of places. They travel. They don't know where their husband is going to be. This, that, and the other. I wasn't looking for Ted. You may walk past your husband. You don't know where you will meet them at, but wherever you meet them at, just do it the right way. That's all I say. Do it the right way. Let God lead you and guide you. And you'll come out okay, because all things work together. Them that love the Lord.
You know what? I see a lot of guys with shamed and embarrassed and telling what you got, baby. I didn't pay. I still chase my wife around the house.
And I always let you catch me.
I'm embarrassed to say anything. I love my wife. I love my family. I love them. I go hard for them. You know what I mean? I'm not embarrassed to say nothing like that. That doesn't take away nothing for my bravado for saying it. It doesn't take away if there ain't man that's going to take away my bravado. No, or she's going to, because then that's where I might say that I might sound a little arrogant and cocky. But if you will leave me, you will, just like if I leave you, if you leave me, you're going to lose something, the vice versa. So I don't think no other man going to love you like I love you. You know what I mean? So you gotta, what you call it, like if she leave, it's like if I go, it's a lot of them got way more money than me. But it ain't about love. I think it ain't built upon finance, it's built upon love. And I don't think there's no man out there that can love my wife like I can love. I really don't, you know? I really don't think so. So is nobody gonna love her like I love her? But, you know, like I said, now when you looking for some money, there's a lot of cats out there got people money. But, you know what I mean? I don't work as hard.
They not Ted. They're not Teen One of the biggest lessons I can say is selflessness. Because of Ted's care, his concern, but his selflessness that he poured out upon us. I don't even have words to describe that. But, you know, he could have said, this is not my life. For real, he came in and with one child, but acquired 6 more. You know, that he was able to pour out love on, that he was able to share knowledge with it. He was selflessness with, you know, when the boys' basketball games came up or their football games, I could have just went, but no. Giving his time and not allowing them to be the only children there with just their mother. There was another father figure there. And that was giving up his time and selflessness. And I think that's one of the major things, even going into a relationship or marriage, you cannot be selfish. It cannot work. If you're going to be selfish, it's going to be one-sided. And his selflessness, his time, his love, his compassion that he gave. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest lessons. That and just a non-judgment. It was free. It was a comfort zone. You know, it was it was something that I really didn't think I could find. I mean, I wasn't looking for it. And I wasn't looking for anyone, but yeah, I would say your selflessness. As we were going through, you know, our journey, and if naysayers, if anything came up on the horizon that we had to discuss, we would discuss it, and we would move on. We wouldn't dwell on it, and it wasn't our topic every time we returned to the table. And I guess that's why the doubters or naysayers or whomever who couldn't penetrate, because we never tried to be that couple. We never even went into it thinking about being that Beyonce and that Jay-Z. That wasn't important. That was never important. It was always important to us. Are the children okay? How do they feel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how does God feel? How would, you know, do you feel convicted or whatever, hey, like that? This is not, people understand, man, those vows. Those vows really mean something better for work, sickness and health and all the stuff like that. And that, as I had mentioned one time, I said, and I see a lot of young couples go through this. You know, sometimes if there's finances has changed for the worse, or sometimes when it gets to, you know, looks might change or whatever. Hey, because as you get older, sometimes, you know, your looks change, your looks change, you gain weight or something like that. I've been blessed. I'm baby, keep back, age back. But, you know,
Let me say so.
No, I mean that. But I'm saying, you know, things like that change and you can get caught up, or, you know, money ain't right. You gotta look, okay? How they say health. I have some health issues. Regardless of things, look, I had some health issues. That took a hit to us a little bit because I wasn't working like I once was. Had to build myself back up. But because of God, you know what I mean, we was able to maneuver around that little stuff that's going on. He's provided. He has provided. And that's what I said. He will provide or whatever. And that's what I said. This was sometimes, I'm saying all of it. Sometimes that's with social media, you can get caught up with everybody is doing on that, and you're like, I can't do that. Or, you know, sometimes, even ain't gotta be social media. You can't sit team with your girlfriends or whatever, yeah, or, you know, be at the water cooler talking, you know, like, man, you know, this and that, or we went here, or I brought this, or this and that, and stuff like that. Because that can take it, you could bring that home, the husband or wife bring that home, and next thing you're like, where's this coming from? And that put a wedge in your which comes. So I never really tried to get caught up with what everybody was doing or anything like that. I never, like I said, mother to beat. I never really tried to beat that couple. You can be vulnerable, but the devil does his work. Whenever you're going through something emotional, that's when the devil can do his work. Or something, you don't have enough finances or anything like that, the devil can get busy on make you make a move that you regret that, or or something like that, or get an argument with your wife. Might see something out there that might catch your eye for that moment. You want to step out or something like that. Just having real talk now. That type of stuff can happen, or vice versa. Something like, or my wife might get mad at me. Something might capture her eye. God forbid. There's something like that, and she, so this is just real talk. And this is something that you need to talk about. I don't like to talk about that type of stuff, but you got to talk. And that's why I think that around, we're not afraid to talk about no stuff like that. We talk about stuff like that. I thank God for me that you reintroduced me to the Lord. We really did. It wasn't for me having a relationship. I love my relationship I had with you, but I love my relationship I had. Introduced me to the Lord like that, and stuff like that. Always, I never had a time, when things wasn't right. Always was a motivator, a person that would talk to me. And I never felt unappreciated. Never felt made me feel unappreciated. I was like, I feel bad and sometimes like that person don't appreciate me, but all of that, like, me appreciate me, everything that I did. And so that's what I always liked about it. And I like the house. So I like the house. If something happened to me, like, I don't want nothing to happen to me because of like that. The Gina lost alone, but I think that Gina be all right. You know what I mean? I don't want something happen to me because I don't want you to trying it. Yeah, I mean, I don't want both to be easy for you or whatever. That's the only thing, but I'm trying to he's a fighting. Thank you. I'm proud of you too. I'm proud of you because you have established your own self. You didn't just establish yourself as Gina's husband. And that's one of the things that we talk to others. That you're going to have to just establish your own identity. And you did that. You did that. And I can remember when we were dating and he wrote me my first poem. And I said, wow. I said, you kind of good with that. You kind of good with words. He had a way with words. That's like he had a way with words. He really did. And he's smooth. He's laid back. He's not a loud person, but his presence speaks volume. That's some of your characteristics that I really like. And I love your new look. He had his new look. You like him that big?
I like all that. I like all that.
I made a job in the almost 60s. I had a job don't get caught up in social media. That's my advice. Don't get caught up in it. Check out social media, be on social media. Don't get caught up in social media. Because, sometimes, when you're young, sometimes, older people too. When you're young, sometimes, at least I'm speaking when I was younger, I was very impressionable. That's when you're impressionable. I got caught up in peer pressure and stuff like that. That's why it used to keep me in the trouble I used to get in when I was younger. And that social media, that thing right there, like, it's just, I even mentioned that I have a poem about that. And I think social media is I think it's really messing up marriages and these young people first thing that some of the young people that's involved that's out there doing the things that they doing, they put on social media. You know what I mean? So try not to get so caught up in it and, get swept in the evilness. And some social media is good, and some is bad, and sometimes you don't know which is good, and you don't know what to cipher out. So just, just let's look to the Lord. And there's nothing wrong with this too. It's nothing wrong for sometimes to keeping that mouth shut and your ears open. Because I know sometimes some people always like to be the one who's the voice. You always want to be, I'm the, want to be the, as he say, jewel dropper or something like that. Sometimes you can take in a lot of stuff. Just keeping that mouth shut. I had to learn that. Keeping your mouth shut and those ears open.
I think I would say to those looking to be married, work on yourself, know who you are, bring something to the table. Don't come looking for what the other person can bring, because I hear a lot of, I want to marry a man who's making 6 figures. I want a man, but what you want this, but what are you bringing the man? Not just good looks and Coca-Cola bottle figure. Bring something to the table. Work on yourself. Not only that, learn not to be selfish. If you're not willing to share, a relationship is not for you. I've been by myself all this time. Well, you might continue to be by yourself if you're not willing to share and be open-minded. And to those who are, you don't have to try to be that couple. Just learn to be respectful to one another. Learn to build your man up. Do not tear him down. And what do I mean by that? Out in the forefront and you yelling at him and you're telling him, that diminishes a man. Learn to be respectful. Why do you want to hurt somebody who you stood on the phone and you said that you love so much? Learn to build him up. And I was looking at Martin one season, and someone was talking about Martin, and Gina said, you don't talk about my man. I talk about, you don't talk about my, learn to build him up. Be his back, just like he's yours. It's a team. Learn to be a team. And he said, and the Bible said, help me. There may be some things I fall short in, but that's a strong area for him. So he's going to help me in that area. And we build up, and it might be vice versa, and I'm going to help him in that area. Don't tear him down. That's what I would say to young couples. And don't believe reality shows. It's not everybody, but that's the thing now. Listen, every woman wants a man that other women want. That's just, we all want that. Because we can sit back, my man, if you know you have the best man, then that's how you live. I said, I got the best man, the best husband ever. I do. I have the best husband ever. Am I spoiled a little bit? I am. But there's a level. He knows how to level that off. He does. So like I said, just being respectful. Do not be selfish. Don't look to be the fat couple that always stays in the newspaper. You always want good things said of you, because those people saying good things to your face could be the same ones that turn around and they're tearing you down behind your back. So don't worry about that. Don't let that penetrate to you. Just know that you're trying to be the best wife for your husband. You know what I mean? If you're doing that, then learn how to cook. Learn how to cook fast food. I mean, it's an option for us to go out and eat and grab some fast food, but learn how to cook. Learn how to clean. Your husband want to clean the house to come home to. Something I told the boys when I was coming up. I used to be in the kitchen. I used to be cooking. And I would say, come over here. And Mom, come over here. I said, because I want you to learn how to cook and clean and you may get somebody who don't know how to do that.
All of them know how to cook.
And each and every one of those boys, they know how to cook. That's important, young ladies. We always want to get married, but you don't even know how to keep yourself up. Make yourself look presentable. Don't go outside with your hair sticking up on your hair and a comb in your hair. And I don't know, wherever you go, make yourself look presentable. You may run into your husband at the supermarket, at Wawa, you don't know. So those are just some of the tidbits that I would just say. But one of the things that I would definitely say in a marriage, learn to be respectful. Don't just say everything out your mouth, because sometimes those words that go out, you can't take them back. You can apologize for them. And I know that us saved folk, and we're in Christ, and they say, forget it. And, but that kind of plays on you when you say those things. So those are just some of the things I would say. All right.